Hello my YouTubers, it's Mio here, and today I have a craft tutorial inspired by the game Minecraft. As you can see, I created an explosive box with a cute little creeper on the top. And of course, it's made all from perler beads. It's really easy, so let's get started, shall we? This project requires you to have an assortment of perler beads. I bought this bag at Joann's, but you can buy them at other craft stores and online. You will also need a perler board that's large enough to fit your project on top of it. This will hold all of your beads together. I like to keep all my beads in a smaller container because it makes it easier to pick up the beads. And as you can see, I'm using a toothpick to stack all the beads on top of each other, and that way it makes for faster beading. I'm going to start by writing the letters TNT, which goes on the center of the explosive box, and they are 4 perler beads tall and about 3 to 4 perler beads wide. I'm going to outline the entire lettering in some white perler beads that's going to cover pretty much 3/4 of the lettering. The bottom 2 rows, I just scattered little white perler beads all over because the rest of it is actually interspersed with gray perler beads. If you notice closely in this pattern, there are 2 rows of white and gray beads on the lateral aspects of the letters TNT. Stack some really bright orange-red perler beads along the top, and they're going to run about 5 rows tall, and you're going to have 2 rows of bright red beads and 1 row of a darker brick red color. And you're going to repeat this pattern all across the very top. I'm going to remove the most left part of the orange-red row, and I'm going to replace this with the dark brick perler bead color. With the regular red perler beads, you're going to line them on the bottom about 4 perler beads apart, which is directly underneath the orange-red color, and you're going to fill the rest of the row with the brick red color. All you have to do now is fill in the bottom rows to look just like the top, and when you're all done, it should look like this. To mimic the video game, I removed the bright orange perler beads and replaced them with a regular red color and added 2 reds on the bottom spaced with 2 brick colored. So now that one side is done, I'm going to start removing every other perler bead on each side of the square. This is going to help me form the kind of puzzle piece shape that's going to be needed to form my actual 3-dimensional box. Once you've removed every other perler bead, you're ready to iron and melt all of your plastic beads together. You're going to do this for about 10 seconds or until you can visually see all the plastic beads melting together. Repeat the process 3 more times until you have 4 of these identical sides. You can start putting these pieces together, and as you'll see, they actually fit in pretty well. If you melted your beads too much and they don't fit together, you can always use a hot glue gun or super glue to help hold all the sides together. All we need to do now is form the top and bottom layer, which looks a little bit different. You're going to start with some gray perler beads, and you're going to stack 4 together in a group to look like miniature squares. Space each of these tiny boxes evenly apart until you have a stack of 16. With the regular red perler bead, you're going to line the right-hand side of each row of gray square boxes until you have 4 of these red rows. Then you're going to go across beneath the gray boxes so that again you form another 4 rows. Along the bottom row, you're going to remove 2 of the perler beads on the far left corner of each of the boxes and replace them on the very top. You also want to take red perler beads to line up the left-hand side. You're going to start at the bottom of each red row and add 2 perler beads going upwards, and just fill in all the rest of the space with the dark brick red perler bead color. This will form the bottom of my box. So in order for this to fit the very top of my box, I'm going to place this on the very top of my original model that I created, and I'm going to line up the beads so that I can see them and remove accordingly the opposite beads so that it can fit exactly like a puzzle piece. Essentially, I'm removing every other perler bead so that it will fit just like a jigsaw puzzle. Be sure to iron this until it melts into a nice solid piece, and then go ahead and position it on the very bottom of your box. For the top, you're going to create the exact same pattern, except once you're done creating this pattern, you're going to start removing some of the perler beads in the center in the shape of what looks like a dynamite stream. I don't really know how to explain what this design looks like other than it's this black long line that curls up on itself and it looks like it has a lot more of black lines shooting out. Yes, I'm sure that didn't make sense, but look at a picture and you'll kind of get a rough idea as to what it looks like. It doesn't really need to be exact. As you can see, it's not very exact for mine. And again, you're going to do the exact same thing to make it fit perfectly on your box. You're going to position it on the very top, remove the corresponding perler beads on every other side, iron them, and position it so that it fits just like a jigsaw puzzle. So that is how I created the explosion box. I'm now going to move on to the adorable little creeper that I put on top. And I'm not using perler beads, I'm actually using Hamna beads, which really are just tiny perler beads, just a different brand. I'll provide a link below so you can know where I bought them if you're interested in purchasing them. But you're going to need some black Hamna beads and 3 different shades of green. I decided that I wanted my creeper to look really cute and chibi-like, and in order to create that character, I started off by making the little frown, and I gave my creeper really large eyes and a really large head in proportion to the body. So really it doesn't look like or have the same proportions as the actual creeper itself, but I think this makes my creeper look super adorable. I also gave my creeper little toes, as you can see on the very bottom. He has 3 little toe nubbins that he walks on. Honestly, any variation of this creeper, as long as he has a really large head and really large eyes, will be really adorable and cute. So once you have the outline done, you're just going to take the 3 different colored green perler beads or Hamna beads and fill them in all over the place. Try to make it very random and organic, and in fact, the more evenly spaced out the colors are, the more realistic it looks like compared to the game. And for those of you guys who have never worked with Hamna beads before, they're actually much harder to use than perler beads because they are so tiny. As you can see, I have to pick up each individual bead with my toothpick. I can't really stack any of them on my toothpick because my toothpick is too large. It requires a lot more patience, but as you can see, there's a lot more colors and a lot more designs you can work with Hamna beads because they are so tiny. Once you're done placing in all of your last beads into your creeper, you're also going to iron these to make one solid character. Do keep in mind that these melt much faster than perler beads, so I don't recommend the 10 seconds. It felt more like maybe 2 or 3 seconds to melt all the beads together. So this is what my character looks like. All you gotta do now is position it on top of the box, and I decided to use a hot glue gun to hold my characters together. And of course, if you don't want your creeper on top of your box or you don't want a creeper at all, it's really up to you. I just think it looks really adorable to have an extra cute character on top. And there you guys have my Minecraft craft tutorial for the week. I hope you guys enjoy this video. For more like these, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my username is FlyingMio. And of course, stay tuned for more videos. I have a lot more exciting things coming up. Bye!